Just to say that the government of Jamaica has taken a decision to introduce 10% ethanol, 10% blend, beginning October this year. A legal mandate has not been given as such, but it is a policy decision which is being implemented. And we are on track. The requisite legislation, regulations have been changed to ensure that the standards, the fuel standards, are in keeping with the international ethanol fuel standards. We are working, and I say we, it is being driven out of the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica on behalf of the Ministry of Energy. And we should have a full rollout nationally by April 2009. And we're going to be, as I said, it's an ethanol blend. We are going to start with 10% to replace MTBE, and we hope to get up to 25% in another 2-3 years. So although it has not been mandated, there are other issues because we have been advised, for instance, that if we go ahead and mandate it, then any chances really of trading in carbon credits for that era would be substantially eroded. So hence the route that we are going, because we really need the additionality to ensure that the proper facilities are set up and the testing of the fuels by the Bureau of Standards is carried out. So in fact, Jamaica is on a path to introduce 10% ethanol. We actually had a pilot study done 2 years ago, and it was found from that study over 70 motor vehicles were used in that pilot study, and there were no negative impacts as a result of the introduction of 10% ethanol. And this is important for the public to know because, you know, there is the public perception that you're introducing a new fuel, a new blend, it's going to damage your vehicle and so on. But we have gone out in the market and tested it in a number of cars over 7 years old. I mean, up to 7 years old, as well as we have had discussions with the car manufacturers to see that there is compatibility. So I think we should be at ease in terms of the path Jamaica is going in terms of introducing ethanol. The agreement is for this ethanol to be provided by all the major suppliers here, because now it is really produced for export under the CBI, but there is an understanding that the feedstock, the source of ethanol will come from all the ethanol producers. So we don't foresee a shortage in terms of ethanol. So as I said, the first half of the program in October will cover the entire eastern part of Jamaica and up to Maypen. Right. The question in terms of wind, let me start with wind. We are in the process, Jamaica is in the PCJ, through PCJ, is in the process of doing a detailed wind map. We have a wind map already that gives some good idea as to where are the potential wind sites. But in order to make them, to identify the commercially viable sites, you actually have to put up your wind masts and do the tests. We have identified 3 additional sites based on data that we have collected. And we are at a very advanced stage of increasing the capacity at the existing wind farm. We now have a wind farm in Manchester which is 20.8 megawatts, and we are going to be expanding it by 18 more megawatts. And as I said, we're at a very advanced stage. It's just really needing cabinet approval for us to go ahead. But all the other regulatory requirements have been met. Financing has been met as well. And we are inviting the private sector to come on board, either with us on this project or to do new projects in wind, because there is good potential. Wind is the fastest growing renewable energy resource that is being tapped in the United States. For instance, we were looking for wind turbines, And the manufacturers out of the United States said very clearly, we are not interested in your market because you are not ordering enough. So, you know, but fortunately we have good relationships with European providers. The thing is that there is a 2-year period now where you have, before you can get an order, and hence the urgency for us to get this particular protocol off so that we can be up and running within 10 months with the expanded wind farm. The fact is that in terms of the other solar, if we look at solar thermal, which is the water heaters, and the solar photovoltaics, Jamaica has not had a history of widespread use of water heaters. So for the domestic market, we would have to create a market, unlike Cuba, where everyone in Cuba uses warm water to bathe, because it's a cultural thing. And I remember President Fidel Castro speaking to us, a group of us from Jamaica, saying yes, they were looking at immersion heaters and so on or else they actually just boil the water and throw it in these bathtubs. But they have a culture of warm water, not in Jamaica, not the domestic market. And a recent survey that was done by the PIOJ and Statin on behalf of PCJ identified that less than 2% of Jamaicans actually use hot water for bathing. However, there's a tremendous yes, less than 2%. And let's say the statistics don't lie. And Dr. Hughes is here, so yes. So our real potential for a market in solar water heaters, that potential lies in the hotel sector, because that is where you are going to have a tremendous amount of energy efficiencies and savings in barrels per oil. If we mandate the use of solar water heaters in the hotels. And this is just a norm in the Cuban economy, that all the hotels use solar water heaters and very efficient and effective water heating systems.